Hello, my name is host Eric. Welcome to Talking with Famous People. I'm the host thereof, and I am here this evening happy to share the room with some attendees, including one Teacup Noir, our ENFJ friend, and above her, Saren, then Lightbulb, Kent, JMatt, and Barry, who is the source of this particular prompt for a question. Namely, if we had an apocalyptic scenario that didn't kill everybody, it provided a small amount of humans to survive in various colonies, and there were two sets of colonies. How would this play out? In one colony, it was one colony of equal proportions of each of the 16 types. So let's say it's 1,600 people, you have 100 of each type. In the second colony, you've got four colonies of 400, each of one socionics Quadra. So the alpha colony would be INTP, ENTP, ESFJ, ISFJ. And then all those types would also be represented in the other colony, 100 each, making up 1/16 of the total population of the bigger colony. Now, in these two different countries, let's call them, country A is all one nation with no states within it, no like California or Delaware. It's just the country of equal proportia. East equal proportia is what this country is called. And then the one on the other side is just called the country of Quadra towns or something. And it's got 1,600 people also. But again, it has the equivalent of states like California, New York, whatever, in each of the quadras. So given these two societies existing side by side, not competing against each other for resources, so far enough apart that they don't directly compete for resources against each other, but coexisting concurrently and parallel, such that we as the observers can draw conclusions about how their type interactions affect the manifestation of human civilization in this post-apocalyptic hellscape. So my first gut is that the Quadra country would do better. As my first gut instinct would do way better. Anybody else want to jump in here before I roll any further? It was kind of a long introduction.
I think Equilibrium Land would do better. I'll take the opposite. So you can teach me how to debate on this. Maybe.
Okay. So this one being a thought experiment, it's hard to say. It's not really subject to straight up debatey stuff, but the first thing I would say, the reason I would give you, and this would be I guess where it does segue, is because the proportions are wrong. And you'd rather have the wrong proportions in without so many complicated variables.
Okay.
Like, we don't need 1/16 of the population to be ENTPs. That's too many ENTPs.
Okay.
Now, you might think, and I might agree, depending on how I think about it, that you'd rather have 1/16 ENTPs than 25% ENTPs, which is what you'd have in the Alpha Quadrant town. That's way too many ENTPs. You know what I mean? Like, every fourth person you meet is oh my god, I cannot
You know what
live in this
though?
fucking town
It
anymore.
would have to. They would all have well, the question was about the roles that they would have, right? So even though you had, I was saying Equilibrium Land because it just makes more sense. Like you would have the ESTPs blowing shit up or defending or doing something awesome, and then you'd have the ISTPs doing something else, like making sure shit's running, and then ISTJs I don't know, controlling, I don't know, or ENTJs field marshaling or whatever, and you need all that to interact. If you had that interacting completely at its pace, the way it's supposed to, everyone getting along in a harmonious fashion, I don't even think that's possible. But if that were to happen, it would you need all those. You need the interaction.
But
I don't know.
TGN, listen to this notion here. If you have only quadramates in a town, everybody has the same conscious functions. So everybody at least understands the valuing of the others, and it's just on a scale of, no, I get why you think that thing's important. I just don't think it's as important compared to this other thing. Whereas you think that's more important and this is less important. Versus if you've got a mix of every different type, then you have some people whose perspectives make no sense to you at all. Like, for example,
Hmm.
an ISFP and I are going to get along fine, but if we actually try to spend time with each other and, like, get each other, we'll be like, I, I don't get you at all. That's how I feel about ISFPs.
Yeah, I feel that way about some types. I feel that way about ISFJs at times.
Oh, I get ISFJs fine. They're in my quadra. This is my mom. My mom and my oldest friend in life. My friend had the longest. So I'm very comfortable with ISFJs. They just worry. They're just fussy a little bit. You gotta kind of know how to make them feel okay, but not pushing them to feel okay, but just actually making them feel sort of like they got it themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I consider ISTJs being like, I don't know why, but like the TJ personalities to be like a core, like powerhouse, and then I feel like the F version underneath for the SJs and like STJ, SFJ. I feel like the FJ is like the same thing as the ISTJ or trying to be what an ISTJ is, but just like more feeling orientated or like I don't know, never had to develop a T. And so a lot of times I find the ISFP or ISFJs to be very cowardly and very like, I don't know. I don't want to say that. I guess that's like, being
Yeah. Now keep
biased
in
or
mind
whatever.
they're different. They're different quadra. So ISTJ and ESTJ are in probably in your quadra. Let's find out. Okay, for
Ugh.
your socionics name is. Let me try to figure this out. Your socionics name is you're an you're an ethical, intuitive extrovert. You're EIE. Okay, you're EIE.
Cool. I think
So
I remember reading that sometime.
that's beta. Okay, so you're in beta quadrant. Beta quadrant includes EIE, which is you, LSI, which is a logical sensory introvert. That's an ISTJ. And then it includes the sensory logical extrovert. That's the ESTJ. And it includes the IEI, which is the intuitive ethical introvert. That's the INF. No, IN. What's? Oh
Could be
yeah, it's the
INF.
INFP. INFP, right? Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
opposite. It's your guy. Yeah, okay. So what you just said when you're like, well, I see these two as the real core of the thing.
Yeah.
You'd be happy in Beta Town, right? You've got your the right people as your core. As somebody who had a beta father and an alpha mother, because my mom's ISFJ, my dad's ESTJ, um, I I respect and love my father. And when I was younger, I always thought there's something wrong with him. He's not normal. Like gets everything properly, like mom and I do.
Huh.
I used to think that regularly. Like I don't know, my dad's like there's something weird about him because he doesn't. Like my mom and I, we used to sort of get everything, and like if I'll say something, she understand why it's funny and everything. And my dad's just kind of he just seems to be missing a piece or something.
It's too serious.
Yeah, he's too serious. Maybe not
TJ.
too serious, but he's way more serious than mom and me. You know,
Well, I'm sorry. You're hilarious. So,
there's nothing to be sorry about. I'm just saying I think it's interesting how we instinctively know these things. Did you know ahead of
Yeah.
time that they were in your Quadra?
What? Yeah, the ESTJ or what?
Yeah,
ISTJ?
yeah.
Um, no, but I think that maybe there's a seriousness to INFPs and ENFJs and ISTJs. Isn't that what the Quadra is? That lives there together? I don't know. Or maybe
Right.
gets each
Well,
other.
it says that the TI blocked with SE, which is what you guys have. Let me see what he says. Am I getting busted for being wrong about something? I'm always getting busted for being wrong about socionic shit. It's like, okay, I'm trying.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's because when you speak with certainty, I get this too because sometimes I'll talk with certainty and people are like, "Oh, like what do you mean by that?" I'm like, "Okay, well, I'm sorry, I'm not the genius. Like I don't have, the
well,
I don't know."
I tend to make naming mistakes, which may be a naming mistake or maybe me having the naming protocol backwards or something. Either way, I tend to had made a video. I got a comment earlier about a video that I made on INFPs in which I got mobilizing and suggestive function backwards. Freaking Mega Bro busted me on it like 5 seconds after I posted it. You did this wrong. And then I'm like, fuck. And it's super frustrating because I was looking at the shit as I was doing it, but I still got it backwards anyway. It's not like I'm just pulling it out of my ass. And then I just got another comment recently. Like it was really it was trying to be all fe nice, like really complimentary. And then, ooh, by the way, although at the end it ended in kind of like dick mode. It's like, and you really should study. So you really should study socionics more.
Oh, snap. They put you in your place. That's why I was talking about the internet. That's why you open yourself up to that and it's going to be like, like
It's fine.
crucifixion.
It's totally fine. I just said, yeah, I. It's not the
Well,
only thing
props
in
to
which
you
I
to be able to take
process.
that and keep on kicking and pump out the videos. Who cares?
Yeah, because, like I said to him, I've made multiple mistakes about socionics and socionic videos, and I'm explicit about the fact that I'm trying to be accurate, but if you are somehow basing some important decision on my accurate naming of a socionics block name, then I'm sorry, but you should probably not do that. Okay, I will read the message. Am I getting my chops busted? Let's see. It makes me nervous. ESTPs tend to change characteristics significantly if they are healthy and confident. How do they think they change characteristics? Do you have a mic, Barry? Oh, you do have a mic. It's on. You should say words with it. You see more depressed ESTPs, seeing them in their INFJ shadow state. It says, so how are you? Are you an ESTP? No. I imagine the STs would do good quickly. But when it comes to efficiency and question plus D, they would suffer. Maybe NTs would take a long time to get off the ground. NTs do best when there's already societal structure in place. Yes, I agree with that. This is caveman level societal structure, as you stated previously. No infrastructure, no technology, alleviating their deficiencies in sensory pursuits. Someone should try to program a characteristic for each, set up an incredibly complex engine, and then see which one wins. That's what the NTs would be doing with their time in the post-apocalyptic wasteland. Let's model our current existence to see who's going to win. If let's pretend we were doing stuff other than modeling. Now let's see who'd win. What am I? Which one am I supposed to read? Oh, dear host, what is your theory on the cause and post stability that allowed different types to coexist? That's a good question. I want to do part two of this apocalypse video though. I want the part two to be much more on topic. I'm gonna run through it in an organized fashion, quick my thoughts, and I'll ask you guys more organized questions about it, so we can I think this is a good topic, and I want to put a little bit more handle on it properly. So let's do this part 2.